Hi, welcome to Game Changer workout number 4. We got legs and glutes today. Fantastic areas to work on for lots of reasons. Very obviously, these are the muscles that keep us walking around, running around. So they're just, whether it's, sports or just gym training or just wanting to be, having great quality of life, these are muscles that we want to keep strong and in good condition. The glutes tend to get a little bit lazy. This is literally just from the ridiculous amount of time we spend sitting on our butts in modern life. So by spending a bit of extra time focusing on these muscles, we wake them up, we reintegrate them with the body, get them working how they should. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with wanting to, sculpt this area. That's going to be going on today too. And it's very metabolic. What I mean by that is if you want to make your body more of a metabolic machine, meaning you burn more fat, you burn more you burn more energy, right? i.e. fat, both when you are exercising and when you are at rest. Your body just has a bigger engine. It burns more fuel. And we are going to be working the biggest muscles of the body here today, so they are excellent for that metabolic conditioning. So you might have even more reasons to decide. Please bring them to mind. Just bring them to mind now. Keep them in your heart throughout this workout and let that drive you through, because I really want us to give this one some good Going to be doing a lot of squats today. Now guys, if you are advanced, you're very experienced and your squat technique is really on point, then you are very welcome to lift a bit heavier. You are welcome to use your squat rack and barbell, whatever you need today. But please make sure, everybody, I'd really like you to have a mirror in front of you when you do this workout so you can check out your form. And if you are more advanced, then you will be aware that squat technique is something that we need to keep coming back to throughout our fitness journey, sharpening it up, making sure it is on point, because bad habits creep in even for very advanced people. So this is a good opportunity to do that today. It's a more nuanced exercise than kind of newbies often think, right? Really important to get it right. Which is one of the reasons why I'm going to be using a chair today. So if you please grab a chair if you've got one in your space. If you're in if you're in a fitness space and there aren't really any chairs around, just grab something you can step up onto. So that it's going to be a bench or a box or something, both for stepping onto. I'd really like it quite high if you can. If you have the mobility to step up to something that's about knee height, that would be brilliant, or just below the knee. But whatever you can step onto. And we also want it for sitting on, because we're going to do sit squats. So grab something around about that height if you can. You can do it without, but ideally I'd like to grab something. Okay. Oh, and weights. I'm going to be going pretty light today. These are light weights for me in terms of doing squat exercises. They're 5 kilograms each, these dumbbells. As I say, you're welcome to go heavier, but we're going to be very technique focused. We're going to be a lot of time and attention, a lot of reps. So beginners, you might want to use no weights, but maybe just have them handy at the side, so that once you make sure you've cracked the technique, if you feel strong, you can add a bit of resistance to make sure that you really get the best gains today. Okay, I'm just going to start the timer. We're going to start with the cardio warm-up though, like we've been doing all along, with about 50 seconds. Our intervals, as before, 50 seconds per exercise, 10 seconds in between. You can warm up using the cardio of your choice. You're welcome to do that, or just come along with me. I like to start the first one with a jog usually, because it just does so many things. Yeah, it helps us to get the circulation going a little bit without too much impact, but also, starts lubricating the joints. It gives us a chance to focus on our posture, our core, getting our core activated. So I think about bringing myself tall through the body. You might want to just roll the shoulders to release any tension there, to loosen up that area. Bring up the chin, make sure our spine is in its correct alignment and its full length with that chin up. Take a couple of deep breaths. Loosen up the shoulders, let the arms swing at the side. And shake it off, shake it off. Okay, now we're going to do the first set of step-ups using my chair or whatever you've got. I'm going to step up using the left leg first. We're just stepping on and off, so don't worry too much about, choreography here. It's not important really. But here's how I'm going to do it. Step up with the left leg, right leg comes up, left leg back down, right leg down, tap, right leg up, left leg up, right leg down, tap. So we're just tapping at the bottom to switch legs. Now, as I said, if you haven't done these much before, you might find that you struggle a bit to get the rhythm of switching legs. Don't worry about it too much. All I want you to do is do roughly the same amount, doesn't need to be exact, roughly the same amount of step-ups on each leg, okay? So that's all you need to do. You know, it's really not important to worry about, you know, matching any sort of steps here. Okay, shake that off. Now we're going to do squat. Just a gentle squat. In fact, let's do chair get up actually. Let's just sit on the chair, right? No using the arms here, of course. And then stand up with straight leg. We're going to hinge at the hips forward, okay? Keep the fingertips on the hips there. Sit tall. Press through the floor to bring you up. Hinge forward, up, down. Let's see if we can speed that up a little bit because we want it to be, you know, a nice warm-up move. We want to get the body warm. Please don't hinge forward too far. It should only be a very gentle stretch from the back of the leg. You do not want to, you basically don't want to stretch. Before a workout like this, what you want to do is just open your normal full range. Back is very flat here, okay? It's very important that the hinge is coming from the hips. So you should feel the hips come forward, okay, rather than rounding the back. Shake that off. Another set of step-ups, then we're done. Because these just really get in there to wake up the muscles you're going to be using in today's workout. While you're doing these step-ups, it's that same switch with the tap on the floor, by the way. Really think about your posture, okay? Make sure you're not slouching or leaning forward too much here, yeah? This is going to help to activate the core, so pull the belly in a little bit. Think about all the muscles around the spine, the column of the spine. Think about those muscles that support the spine and keep it in the correct place. Think about those activating, switching on to keep you tall. Also the muscles of the waist. Just cinch them in slightly. For that posture, think about what's going on with your shoulders. Don't let them hunch up. You might have to sort of actively pull them back a little bit to get your correct posture. Just pinch the shoulder blades together a tiny bit. Nice and tall, shake that off. Okay, we're warm. Warm enough to start this. Take a breath. All right, first exercise is going to be a standard squat. So get ready for that now. I'm going to squat, and I recommend this. Squat to the chair, okay? So squat to bench, you might be familiar with. Squat to chair is the same, just using a chair. And what we're going to do is, you want to make sure you're in front of, so feet are going to be like just outside hip width apart, okay? So not wide stance here. So hip width is here with the feet directly underneath the hips. You just step out a tiny bit so they're just outside the hips, yeah? And then we want to just tap so ideally, I want to tap the corner of the seat of the chair with the edge of my butt, right? So that means stepping forward a little bit and just tap. Oh, I didn't quite make it there, yeah, see? Tap and up, okay? So you're not sitting on it, you're not releasing any weight to the chair, you're just tapping it to make sure you get the hips where they should be. Come on then, let's go. That's the start of our first interval. I'm going to use no weight for this first set because we're easing into the workout. Tap and up. Tap and up. It feels different, doesn't it, compared to when there's no chair there? Now let's think about a few key things here. Core on, chest is proud, okay? Back is straight. Your upper body is not collapsing, all that is switched on, you're not coming forward too much. The knees are not coming forward over the toes. They come forward a tiny bit, but not much. The exercise is pressing the hips back and tapping that chair. We're not sitting on it, we're tapping the edge of it. Making sure everything's nice and even, feet are down, every toe remains in contact with the floor, yeah? A lot to think about, right? Great exercise. All right. We're going to do chair get up to side leg lift. So this time we are going to sit on the chair and feet are hip width apart here. So nice straight lines there from hip to knee. Stand tall. Come on up. And we're just going to lift the leg to the side and sit back down and come up and straight leg lifts to the other side. Don't worry if you can't get it as high as mine is going. That's not the point. What I want you to do though is really activate every muscle in that leg as you lift it to the side. Sit down, and as you come up, squeeze the glutes and hold that squeezed and lift the leg to the side. Belly pulled in, core tight. Lift, sit, lift. And when you sit, please sit slowly. Don't just don't just plonk your butt down. All right, what's the next one? And wide squat, nice. So we get even more, this one, into the glutes and also inner thighs. So we want to step so our feet are wider now, outside the legs of the chair, at least here, yeah? And I'm just going to come forward a little bit, because again, I want to tap the edge of the chair, not sit on it. Press the hips back and squeeze up. Press the hips back and squeeze up. One of the key things with this squat is the knees. I mean, you're always going to be careful of the knees in any squat, but with wide squat, the knees can tend to buckle in, and we must avoid that. That will damage you. Please stop if that is happening, and either bring your feet closer together so you're in a narrower stance. Don't come down as low. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that those knees point towards your middle toes. They do not come in. If your knees buckle in, you will be damaging yourself. I cannot overstress that. Okay, those are our 3. We've got 2 more rounds of that. So now's the time to really dig in. So let's start with one weight. If you are ready, remember we're going to just tap that chair with the feet just outside hip width apart. Tap and up. I need to go back a centimetre. Tap and up. Tap, up. Now, if you're using what for you is quite a lightweight like I am, let's really make it work by getting our mental focus there, okay? So pull the shoulders back, press the hips back behind you. Really make sure you're pressing those hips back, but at the same time you're not tilting them, because we don't want too much of an arch in the lower back there. That means switching on the core. Pull the belly in. Squats very much work the core. Make sure every toe is on the floor, the foot's not peeling up. The knees, once again, pointing to middle toe. Let's just do one more. And squeeze up. Very nice. Starting to get a sweat on now. You know, and this is a lightweight for me, so it just shows how much we're working, how we're firing up these big muscles. Right, I'm going to use weights this time. It's that sit to side leg lift, so I'm going to have weights here. I'm going to come up, I'm going to bring them down. Gently rest the weight on that leg to put a bit more work through that outer thigh for the lift. Again, still keep that focus. Everything strong, everything activated. Lift, lower. A little bit of a bicep curl going on here for the upper arms. But it's an exercise very much for the legs. And as always, that core is involved, keeping us steady. Don't forget those glutes. Sit slowly, don't just plonk your butt down, remember. Squeeze up, raise. Slow and controlled with that sit. Rise, raise. Beautiful. Now, wide squat. I'm going to have one weight again this time. Remember those knees, yeah? They're going to point in the direction of the middle toes and the butt, the hips. I'm just going to tap. Come forward a little bit so I can get a little bit lower. And just tap the edge of that chair. Think about it. Be present in your body. Feel it in the inner thighs and the glutes. Squeeze up. Slowly lower. Tap. Just feel that chair or bench there. Keep the shoulders pulled back. And keep checking that the knees do not buckle in. Okay, remember, that is non-negotiable. It's mandatory that your knees must point towards those middle toes. If they're not, you need to change something. But once you've got that in place, really squeeze, because this is an amazing exercise if you want to target the butt and the inner thighs. Also helps to open the hips a little bit. You might have felt a slight stretch there, which is good. We want good mobile hips, of course. All right, I'm going to use both of my weights for this last set of the squat. Just going to have them here up at my shoulders. You do what you need to do. I'm going to sit and tap that chair. Go forward a tiny bit, so I get a little bit lower. So now just tapping kind of the edge of my butt on the front. Because we want to obviously eventually be able to really sit down into that squat low with correct posture, with correct form. Squeeze it up. Can be quite a humbling experience for people who squat heavy when they come back and, you know, have to fix their technique and they find they have to go a lot lighter. But for the long run, you know, through the duration of a training plan, they finish stronger by going back to basics with a lighter weight. Obviously avoids injury as well, which is, of course, always what we want. So sit to side leg lift once again. So squeeze the weights up here, sit onto your chair, come on up, lift. So I'm just gently resting the dumbbell on the outer thigh to give that just something to push against, yeah? Bit of a lift, weight lift for the outer thigh. But don't neglect that squat in the middle. You must drop slowly with control, straight back up, core on, all the way through, yeah? Come on, I know you're not just dropping that butt down to the chair. Slow all the way down, okay? Don't go slow halfway down, then lose control, just drop your butt. Control it all the way through. You know whether you're doing it correctly. Just going to do one more on the other side to make it even. Nice. Wide squat then. I'm going to have both dumbbells this time. I'm going to have them up here again, palms facing out. Get my position. And this last chance, last opportunity to do this wide squat. I'm going to remind you once again though, those knees, they must point in the direction of your middle toes. They mustn't buckle in. You've got to focus, you've got to squeeze the glutes. Imagine you have an arrow tattooed on each upper thigh, a lower thigh, and that arrow is pointing towards your knee. Yeah, so when you're here, that arrow should point to your middle toe, okay? It's going to help you to make sure the knees don't buckle in. Every toe is down, remember, feet are not peeling up. Whole body working as a single unit there, great exercise for that. Now we've got a break. These workouts go by in a flash, don't they? We're halfway, right? This is why you've got to dig deep, you've got to make the most of it. I'm breathless, probably from all the talking I've been doing. No, it's more than that. I've got a bit of a sweat on already, which, you know, just shows what we're doing here because those are light weights for me. So final half, we're warm now, our muscles are activated, we're ready. Can you dig a little bit deeper? Can you push a little bit harder for this second half? Now, we've got lunge, and I'm going to have my chair at the, I'm going to have it at the side opposite to the leg I'm working. I'm going to do the left leg first because it's my weaker side and that's how I like to roll. Right, so have the chair on the side of the leg which you're not working, and we're not going to lean on it. We're just going to gently place our fingertips on there. Right, we're off in just a few seconds to get yourself set up. You can have a weight on this side if you want. This first set I'm going to demonstrate without weights. So literally just your fingertips resting on there. Long stride back. Feet are still hip distance apart here, yeah? Haven't stepped inwards. And my shoulders stay pointing to the ceiling. And I'm going to bend this front knee and the back knee. And my hips are going to move straight down, straight up. I then step in. Repeat. Long stride back. Feet are still hip width apart. Down, up. So the key thing here is we're moving down and up, not forward and back. Okay, long stride, hips down, hips up, back. Like a horse on a merry-go-round, on a carousel, yeah? One of those carousel horses. Imagine you've got a pole through your body, down, up. Knee stays over the ankle, right? It doesn't move forward and back. That's how we do that. You know, you might have heard trainers, I get beginners asking me about that cue to not, other side, let's just get set, I'll carry on talking once we're in the rhythm. So again, feet are hip width apart, down, up, in. So I get beginners asking me about that cue that trainers often tell you to not move the knee forward and back in lunges, and they're like, how? I can't seem to do it that way. This is how, right? You've got to make sure you take a long enough stride back So the legs have room for that knee to not move forward and back. But the key thing is that it's about moving the hips down, up, step in, okay? Not forward and back. Notice I'm not leaning. My shoulders are pointing to the sky all the way through this exercise. And by holding onto a chair, that helps us to achieve this. I can actually do it without a chair. If you find you can, take them away, but it's always good to come back to that just to make sure everything's really stripped. All right, going to come back to that in a minute, but first, we've got the, we're really going after our glutes now. I'll put this towel down so I don't get my mat covered in sweat here now. Grab your dumbbells, gently place them on the hips, and just find a place that's comfortable. I've got my hands under them, so feet are close to the hips, and we just squeeze and lower. Squeeze and lower. Now, if you're quite flexible, you might find that you can really get your hips up there so that you're almost in a sort of archway. We don't really want that. What we want is a straight line from knee to shoulders here and no higher with the hips, okay? Because what that's going to help us to do is really focus on activating those glutes, the muscles in your bum. You should be squeezing them at the top. Hold tight, slowly lower. All right, that's your 3 for this set. That's your introductory set. These next 2 are where it gets real. If you need to continue holding onto the chair for the lunges, please do that. Otherwise, grab a weight in opposite hand to the leg that's stepping back. I'm gonna start working on the left first of all. Right, so you've got that stride bar, stand tall. That's because I had the thing last time. Come on, down, come on up. Long stride, down, up. It takes focus, And here's a tip on the balance side. Look at something still and, something that's not going to move out in front of you at eye level if possible. Okay, so you might want to, once you've seen what I'm doing, not look at me. You might want to look at something above or behind the screen that's very still, and that can help to keep our balance. All right, other side then. So we start with the feet underneath the hips, hip width apart, and we maintain that like we're on tracks. Long stride. Remember what we said before, it's down, it's up, step in. Shoulders stay pointing to the ceiling all the way through. Belly in, switch the core on. We are most definitely working the core here. Those are the muscles that keep us tall. Bend both knees, down. Oh, make sure you're getting that bend in the knees. Make sure that the hips are coming down and up, not forward and back. Long stride, bend both knees, rise, step in. Core is on, and that helps to keep our hips facing forward. Both hips should be facing forward. Don't let this hip get dragged towards that back leg, the leg that's stepping back. Imagine you've got headlights in your hips. Those headlights, the beam needs to be facing forward all the way through. Glute thruster again. Let's get down. Make this one intense, yeah? Let's get value. You're here, you're putting the time and effort in. Let's get you the value. Feet close to hips, squeeze up. Don't squeeze up too high, remember? We're looking for that straight line, like a slide from knee to shoulders. And we can just hold for a second at the top here. That might help to make it more intense. Pull the belly in, work the core, but really, mentally put your focus on squeezing those glutes. So we're not squeezing them, necessarily to push the hips up too high. We're just activating them. Drive up. Having the weights there obviously gives a bit of extra resistance for the hips to push against. Using the glutes. One more, hold, and release. Last opportunity to strengthen the legs in this workout today. Well, yeah, with weights anyway. So, you might want to grab both dumbbells now. Find that hip width stance. Long stride back, shoulders stay pointing skywards. We go down and up and step in. Yeah, we got it. We got it now. Remember, if you are struggling to maintain any aspect of this technique, you can put the weights down, please do, I want you to do that, and I want you to hold on to the chair again, or wall, or whatever's available, for you to just gently use as a bit of extra stability and support while you build up the stability, while you build up the muscles, the support for this correct movement. Let the shoulders point to the ceiling all the way through, the body stays tall, we don't lean forward, those headlights on your hips, the beam is shining forward. We want to avoid too much, tilt with the hips there, so try and keep the hips facing forward. Stand tall, long stride on the other side. Bend both knees, down and up. Hips face forward, both hip bones are pointing forward, yeah? Down, up. Shoulder blades are back, shoulders are back, chest is proud, neck is long, head is up, breathe, step it in. Remember, that front knee, it's not coming forward, certainly shouldn't be forward of the toes. So make sure you're getting that bend, hips come down and up. So it's like a single leg squat when we're here, yeah? Squat. Think about that squat to chair, think about that feeling here. Very nice. Last chance to go after that glute thruster. Let's go, let's go. Heels close to hips and press. Drive up. Drive up. Remember, we want to actually avoid going too high. Instead, we want to make it very focused and intense on a deep muscular level. Pull that belly button to the spine. Squeeze and lower. Let's really slow them down. It works deeper if you go slower. And we're holding for a second at the top there. Do not release your weight to the floor at the bottom. Just tap with your butt. Feel the floor there. And rise back up. Tap. Rise. It is slow. It is quite a small movement. We're squeezing every muscle for the benefits. All right, lovely. Take a breath. You might want to just pull the knees in towards the chest there. Just get a bit of release in those muscles. And come up. Right, we're going to do one last set of cardio. It's that 4-minute cardio here. Then we're done. Right, so it's going to be, this time, step ups all the way through. So I really want to burn out the legs and glutes here. And step ups are just such an amazing functional exercise, for strengthening, for making sure we've got good mobility in these moves. As you can see, this is a very functional movement, right? Very functional. But like similar to the squat, people don't give them enough credit. So get yourself set up with your, whatever you're stepping onto in front of you. And we're just going to focus on single leg this time, which is going to help us to iron out any strength and stability imbalances between the two legs. So I'm going to go left leg first. Let's get straight into it. Tall body. Just come up and tap with the other leg, with the right leg. Right leg goes back down. Working leg stays on your platform. And it's literally just that. You do not have to match my pace. As I often say, you didn't come here for dance class. We're not a dance troupe. You don't need to actually mirror me. So go at your own pace. Just focus on maintaining correct technique. And we were employing all the things we've talked about today. Every toe stays down on that step. We're not driving the knee forward too much. We are tall through the body. You really need to activate the core. I don't want a lot of forward lean here. I definitely don't want a lot of, movement through the upper body. This is steady, this is stable. All right, other side. So really focus on that posture, that strong, straight upper body here. Think about the lower abs a little bit. Really pull, the belly button to spine and that whole area below the belly button. Think about that switching on to support the hips, the bulk of the hips, all that area there. And the waist, Imagine you're wearing a thick, tight belt, like a corset, thick, tight belt, weightlifting belt if you prefer, around that section, and it's pulled really tight, like extra tight. That's how tall and still and stable we want to aim for. Think about the glute driving up there. This other foot, the non-working leg, is light. Light tap here, light tap at the bottom. Don't just plonk yourself back down. Control the lower. It's just as important as the lift. Both hips face forward, chest, shoulders, everything forward. I mean, I know I might be doing that a little bit, but that's just so I can look at you, okay? Just for difference. Turn this side. We're still starting with the left leg first. We're going to do that one more time. Stand up tall, come down. I wish I hadn't done this now because, as you might notice from the videos, my kitchen's over there. And now I'm looking, when I go up here, I can see the dishes that I hid in the sink. in case they were in the video shop. And I'm just having to look at those now. Never mind. This is working around the real world. Let's refocus on being tall through that body. Remember, everything faces out in front of you. Hips, chest, shoulders, everything tall. Spine is long, head is up, chin is up. And we put as much focus on slowly lowering as we do through that powerful drive that gets you up there. Last thing, then we're done. So let's really make this one look good, okay? Knee stays over ankles. Drive up through that foot, tall body. Control that lower. Drive up. So the other leg, now those taps are light. Light tap at the top, light tap at the bottom. You're going to really control that lower, building some great strength through those big muscles of the thighs and the glutes here. Take a second to consider how this movement is building functional strength and how it's also very similar to the moves we did in squats and lunges earlier. And you can see how this is going to help you to get stronger in those movements. Keep the hips facing forward, squeeze through the glutes, stay tall, control. One more. Okay. Quick stretch to finish. Have the legs nice and wide here. As wide as they'll comfortably go, but only to the point where it's a gentle stretch. Please don't overdo this, okay? It doesn't need to be a strong stretch here. Gentle, there should be a feeling of stretch there, but not intense. And we're just going to ease. Okay, well now what I'm not doing here is rounding. I'm keeping my back flat and straight, and I'm pressing my chest towards the floor diagonally out in front of me. Oh. Now, because of the training I've been doing, my hips have got really tight lately. You know, sometimes I can get right down, can usually certainly get onto my elbows. Today I know that's not going to happen to me, for me. But that's okay, you know, it's going to feel different on different days, and that's to be expected, okay? So we're fine with that. What we do is we breathe into the area that feels tight. So for me, it's around the hips, top of the hip bones. And just let ourselves ease further forward as and when the body's ready. Now it's going to bring the legs together, or let just hip width apart. Start out by sitting in this nice L shape here, nice tall spine, and again, rather than rounding, we're bringing the chest down towards the shins. Oh, that's a tight stretch for me today. Because we're very warm, you know, the muscles are warm and softened from the exercise we've done a little bit. We can add in a few pulses here, very gently, please don't ever do anything that's painful, but it's just a little gentle pulse to help get a little bit more opening through the back of the legs there, maybe the lower back. And now let's just release and breathe. I'll just hold this for the last 10 seconds of this interval to finish. Remember, if you're a member of the website, the longer stretch is available for you, where we're really going to stretch the glutes and legs a lot more. Of course, you're welcome to join. If you're not already a member, you get access to that and this whole wonderful 30-day program. If you're coming to me from YouTube here today, you're welcome to join up and get the rest. Please, before you go though, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and please share this video. It's free to everyone. You know, the more people who do it, you know, it's more fun. To see lots of comments, to see other people out there doing it together, and you know, and why wouldn't you? It's free and it's so beneficial. I'd love to see your comments. I'd love to hear how you did today, whether you are watching this on the YouTube or if you are a member of my website. You can always come over to the Facebook group, of course, and leave comments there, or even bob over to the YouTube and leave a comment there and hit share for me. Okay, so maybe I'll see you in the longer stretch, which I'm just about to go and record now. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Maybe tomorrow, or soon. All right then, well done. Ace workout today. Bye-bye. See you next time.